you want to say hello to anybody out there in Facebook land?
Yes, hello everyone, and a big shout out to my dad, Jonathan Richards, who is watching right now and is a loyal fan.
See, I didn't know who he was actually, and then I see him saying hello to all the ladies. So I'm like, look at this Jonathan Richards saying hello to all the ladies there. So I'm like, I don't know, can you imagine like the Brad Son Squeeze Show takes over for Tinder? Like everyone just comes and like finds dates on the Brad Son Squeeze Show. You never know. You never know. But now I know who Jonathan Richards is. He's just watching because his daughter's on today, right?
No, he's a loyal fan.
He's a loyal fan? Oh, he watches all the time. You know what happens a lot is, today's show is a bit slower because we don't have the calls volume. Usually we have like 10, 12 calls and the questions are coming fast and furious. So I don't have the time to watch people's comments coming through because there's so much going on. Today's a bit slower of a show because we're on the Brad and Squeeze Show page and we're not able to share it to any of our other pages. So unless you know to watch on the Brad and Squeeze Show page, nobody knows about this. So we have a lot less viewers today. So it gives me an opportunity to actually, as I'm talking, read what's going on. It's actually a little fun. So I'm like, oh, look at this guy. I'm like, look at this guy, Jonathan Richards, making his move, saying hello to all the women.
Oh my goodness.
And Lisa Bling Rose wants to know what I'm drinking today. It is called Vitamin Zero. All right, am I allowed to give a free commercial to Vitamin Zero without being taken off the air? I don't know. Can you imagine? Brad, we just got a call from Vitamin Zero. You cannot. Me and the Lisa Bling Rose, me and the groundhog were drinking in my room. No, we were not. I'm actually punch drunk from what happened.
That was great. Yes, Groundhog Sam was just having his own little party.
Yeah. Groundhog was having his own party. I actually am, in all honesty, quite sober. I'm a little punch drunk from starting a show on one page and then. What did we do wrong? We showed a 3-second clip of the Olympics, and now Facebook says we committed the crime of the century. So I'm a little punch drunk from that. And you can't, I'm a good lawyer, and I can sit there and argue with them, but I can't sit there and argue with them and do a live show at the same time. So it's one or the other. So I said, should I call them up and scream at them, or should I go and do a show somewhere else? Right?
Yeah. So we're doing the show.
So we're doing the show somewhere else, right? Because that's all I can do. All right,
exactly.
So the show must go on. Excuse me, Mr. Bernstein, you have copyrighted that song, and can you imagine?
We just can't do anything.
Can't do anything right anymore. Yes, Cordella. I think it was a lot of coffee. That's for sure. That I admit. It was a lot of coffee. It was a lot of coffee.
Oh my goodness.
I had a lot of coffee today. That is for sure. All right, let's go.
Let's get to it. Okay.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Beverly Ford. While filing for my daughter, do I need to do a separate I-130 for my underage granddaughters too?
Say that again?
Yes. When filing for my daughter, do I need to do a separate I-130 for my underage daughters too? Granddaughters?
No, you don't.
Okay. Tamara Walker, and a special shout out to Tamara Walker. She said, "Hello, Patrice. A friend of mine came to us.
Why does she get a special shout out? How come nobody else does?"
Because one of our viewers is like, "Patrice, you're beautiful," and then she asked the question.
Yes, Patrice is beautiful. So is Belgium Kim is beautiful. Belgium Kim has been stepping it up lately. She's been looking. Yeah. She's been looking. I even saw the other day somebody goes, "Kim, you looking fine." Did you see that comment? Kim is like, "You're looking fine." I think everybody's stepping. The only one who's not stepping it up is me. I gotta start stepping it up myself.
No, you got sharp shit.
But you want to know what I noticed. I have gained a little weight, Patrice. I have noticed it. I have. If you go back and look at the shows from the summer, okay, and when we did the Braducation to now, you can see, there's this.
Oh, I see.
Which you don't see, but so everyone's stepping it up at me.
Right. I'll step it up with you.
All right. We're going to diet together?
Yeah, we're gonna diet together.
Yes.
Let's go to the gym. Right
Go
downstairs.
to the gym,
We could do.
diet.
Got it.
All right.
Just the gym
I can
downstairs.
totally see you, like, as I'm, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, as I'm, like, shoving the chocolate donuts in my face. You're like, Brad, give me that.
You're not allowed.
You're not allowed
eat
to have that. You would
Brad.
be literally ripping the donuts out of my mouth.
We gotta help each other out. All right. So here we go. So
Let's go.
Narrow walk, right? Hello, Patrice. A friend of mine came to the U.S. on a passport in 2004, and it was not hers. She was sent back to the airport. What is her chances of getting a visa to
Zero.
visit the U.S.?
Zero.
The Canadian citizen.
It doesn't matter. Zero. You got deported at the airport for a fraudulent document. That's misrepresentation for life. Maybe, perhaps, if she gets married to somebody, they can do a waiver. But in terms of getting another visitor's visa or trying to get a visitor's visa, I mean, unless they're coming, to, get their Grammy Award or something, they would have to have a really, really good reason to get a waiver approved. Not just to come visit and see Disney World.
Carly Freeman, if an American is living in another country and gets married, can he file for his wife from there or wait until he returns to America? Is his child a citizen, an automatic citizen if born there as well? I believe.
The answer is you can file from there. You still have to file the I-130 stateside first. But as long as you have the intention of returning with her, there's no reason to return without her. So you file for her, and when you go to the interview, as long as the facts are something like, yes, the whole family is moving back to the United States, they'll give her the green card. Your son is a U.S. citizen if the son was born to a U.S. citizen in another country, and the U.S. citizen can prove that for 10 years prior to the son's birth, at some point over the age of 14, that the U.S. citizen parent was living in the United States. So let's say you lived in the United States from 15 to 25, and then at age 26, and that whole time you were a U.S. citizen, and at age 26 you moved to Jamaica, and at age 30 this child is born. That child's a U.S. citizen because you have 10 years living in the United States as a U.S. citizen over the age of 14 prior to the child's birth.
Trey Wilson, how long does it take if a green card holder petition for you when you live in the U.S.?
Say it again.
Yes. How long does it take if a green card holder petitions for you while you live in the U.S.? Sorry.
About a year and a half. Year and a half to 2 years.
About a year and a half. Okay.
Right.
Okay, Joe Wilson. Sorry for the confusion.
By the way, this thing is I think it's alive. It keeps changing.
Does it have a mind of its own?
It's like a mind of its own. Like, I keep fixing it, and then all of a sudden it's like flopping over. It's coming out. I don't understand what's in here that just pops.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
Today.
This is like a crazy day today.
It's a crazy day.
That's why I said I wanted to move my chair. I think the ceiling's gonna collapse on my head.
No, we can't. We cannot.
No. You don't want that to happen. All right.
Okay. San K. Wyatt. Yes, she's the one like, hi, Patrice, you're beautiful. Thank you so much. My question is, if you marry a person twice and divorced and remarry the same person, can you file for him?
Yes, but what happened in between? So in other words, you were married to somebody, then you got divorced. Usually, what's popping in my head is, did you marry somebody else to get a green card? And then you became a citizen, and then you divorced spouse number 2, and now you're going back to marry spouse number 1 to get a green card. You're allowed to fall in love, fall out of love, fall back in love again, but certainly there's going to be a lot of questions. If that's the question I'm asking, that they're asking, it happens in real life. You remember Elizabeth Taylor? You know who she is?
Yeah, what happened?
Okay, she was married to 7 different men. 2 of her marriages was to the same man, Richard Burden. And Richard Burden didn't need a green card. He was born in America. So it happens. I think Richard Burden was marriage number 4 and 6. So there's lots of instances where people have gotten divorced and remarry again, and in between there was a relationship. It does happen. I'm just saying immigration is going to have a lot of questions to ask you.
Okay. So Stephen Sanders has a question from Facebook. What if you marry a Jamaican while they are on vacation here in the States? Do they have to return home or can they stay?
As long as you're married after 90 days of their coming here, they can stay and get their green card here.
Marjorie Cohen. Good evening. I have hired your firm to handle my case to respond to my RFE. This was done within the time frame specified. The problem is I will become out of status on February 17th, thereby affecting everything. My driver's license and my state job, including that will be affected. The only time available with InfoPass to get a stamp is February 27th, which is too far off. Please, please, please help.
Is this an RFE to remove the conditions of your permanent residence? If it is, you're a permanent resident every day. Don't worry about it. You can get your stamp on the 28th. That's what I believe. Okay? So there's never going to be a day that you're not a permanent resident. You are always a permanent resident. If you have an issue with your state job, they have to give you at least 90 days to bring in the proper documentation. So if your green card expires on February 17th, and you can get the stamp on the 28th. Don't worry, no sweat. If I believe my recollection is what she's doing.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to need a little bit more information on that too. And Carlos Estrella, for B and C felony and 7th degree misdemeanor, my whole family is American citizens. And now I'm just asking because a guy that was deported from over there gave him a 10-year visa. I'm confused by this question. For a B and C felony, 7th degree misdemeanor, my whole family
Carlos has been watching us for a year and a half. I know Carlos. He's in the DR. Carlos Estrella. If this is a guy in the DR, I know this guy. He's been part of the Brad squad since the beginning of time, and then all of a sudden he was like the biggest commenter in the world once we went on Facebook with our telephones, and then and so Carlos was our buddy on the show every day. Okay, he probably made more comments than Jeff Bossi. By the way, where's Jeff Bossi? He's not even here today. He doesn't even know what happened.
I don't see Jeff.
Yeah, no, I don't see Jeff either. So, any event, so he was like one of our biggest commenters, Carlos Estrella, if this is the same guy I'm thinking about. And then one day, we never heard from him again. And then just in the last week, I've seen him starting to comment. If you got deported, it's very difficult to get a visa. I'm not sure why this guy got a visa. I would need to know more information, Carlos, about this guy, though.
We need more information.
More info.
Okay, Sharon.
Jeff Bossi.
Where's Jeff? Jeff's in the building.
He says, "I'm back and I'm not black."
Oh, Jeff! We thought we lost you.
Yeah, I thought he left because he hasn't made a comment in a long time.
Welcome, Jeff. Welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Sharon Seepersad. My granddaughter is a U.S. citizen. She's been living out of the U.S. for 7 years. Will she be able to come back to the U.S. to live without any problems?
As a U.S. citizen, absolutely.
Yes, a U.S. citizen. Carlos. Sabrina Blessing.
Carlos has more questions. It's the same Carlos with more questions?
No. We got Carlos in. So Sabrina Blessing.
Sabrina Blessing. Got it.
This is a long one.
Right.
Asked a question 2 days ago about my brother. He was coming into the country when they are taking him into a room and ask him a bunch of questions if you have worked here before, and you tell them no, but the only thing is he is a 2L stepfather removed. This is very difficult, Brad. I'm very sorry.
All right, just read it verbatim, and then we're going to throw it in our Facebook to Google Translator. Facebook to English Translator, okay?
Yeah.
All right, read it verbatim, and let me figure out if the translator can figure out the question.
Okay. Actually, can I go to Millie? Millie just popped up too. We have a question for Millie.
Ask Millie, then take a deep breath and go back to the other one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Millie, I applied for a visa in 2014 and was denied. Applied again in 2015, the same thing. In 2014, I used my current spouse name and info. 2015, when I was applying, I was told by the agent to state that I was in a relationship because most of the time we were when we were stayed, our significant other is overseas. They think we are planning on running off, etc. So I used an ex name to say we were in a relationship. Anyway, now my spouse, I used his name in 2014 and engaged. What problems will it cost me if we should look about a fiance visa, or better yet, getting married? Or should I start filing? Mind you, I haven't applied again.
Do not do anything. Don't pass go. Don't. It sounds like you're giving a whole bunch of different stories to the U.S. Embassy. Guess what? All those stories may come back to haunt you. Okay, you're in a relationship with this person. You're in a relationship, and now all of a sudden, now you're fiance. I don't even understand which stories you gave to who, when, and where. Okay. So before you do anything, and because you're saying, I use these names, I don't even know what use these names mean. Okay, I don't get it. Before you do anything, stop in your tracks. Let's have a consultation where it's a one-on-one consultation with an attorney in a privileged situation, and let's see what you said, and if you stuck your foot in your mouth, and if you need waivers or you don't need waivers, I'm not sure. Say no more right now. Okay, you ready for our Facebook to English translation?
Yes, I
Okay,
think so.
so you'll give the Facebook version of it.
Yes. Okay. So Sabrina's saying that she asked this question 2 days ago about her brother who was coming into the country, and somehow he was placed into a room. They asked him a bunch of questions about where he worked, and basically she's saying. They told him the only thing that he has to do, he has a 2L. His stepfather removed his she-strock from. This is very hard, Brad. I'm so sorry. This is really difficult for me. This is extremely difficult. The stepfather moved T-Trock from his truck to put in his basement, and they have been away 5 years from his 10-year visa, and so this is difficult. I can't. I'm so sorry. This is really hard for me.
Just read it exactly what they say.
I am, but it just sounds confusing. Tonight, so I asked
just
the question.
Just read it exactly. In other words, if it says,
literally,
John is boy, car, cow, yellow, just read it exactly like that. John is boy, car, yellow, whatever, and then I'll see if I can figure it out.
I will. I'm literally reading word for word right now.
Word for word now. You ready? Let's start again.
I'm ready.
I am listening.
I asked a question 2 days ago about my brother. He was coming to a country when they take him into a room and ask him a bunch of questions. If you've worked here before, and you tell them no, the only thing that he is 2L is stepfather removed to she-rock from his truck to put in his basement, and they have taken away 5 years from his 10-year visa. So the 5 year is now up. What options does he have to travel again? Is there anything that could be done for him to visit to the U.S. in Miami? Did he have to return a ticket to go back home, but they sent him back home the next day? They kept him locked up in a room for the whole day.
All right. Got it. I just put it in the translator. Got it. All right. So this is what happened. I know. This is what the translator said. Okay. This guy came up to the United States. He was coming on a visitor's visa. They brought him into his secondary room. Yep, I'm just reading the translator. They brought him into the secondary room. They say, hey, you're coming here to visit. You working in the United States? He says, well, I helped my uncle move sheetrock from a basement somewhere else. And they say, aha, you worked. You're lying. Misrepresentation. You can't come on a visitor's visa to work. Get the hell out of this country. And they kept him overnight. They bought him a plane ticket and they sent him home. And that was 5 years ago. See, I got it. The translator got it. I told you, just read it verbatim. I got it. So now now they sent him home, and now he has his 5 years has been up because he has a summary exclusion, summary inadmissibility now they call it. 5 years you can't reapply. Problem is he made a misrepresentation on the visitor's visa. He admitted to working, even if it was just literally helping his uncle move sheetrock. Okay? And then as a result of that, he has a permanent bar. So he has a 5-year bar on the deportation and a permanent bar. So he needs a way to figure out how to get a green card and at the same time be able to get a waiver. That's what he needs to do. They're not going to give him a visitor's visa again. So I think either the person who wrote the question or the kid in Jamaica, or maybe he's not a kid now, maybe he's my age for all I know, I have no idea, needs to have a consultation, and we'll see what we can do to help. See, I told you, just read it verbatim, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, you're right, Brad. You're right.
What else?
Okay.
You're right. When you're right, you're right.
You're right.
You're right.
You are. Okay. Tamara Walker asked again, what is the cost for a phone consultation, and what is your means of getting that cash? Getting the cash.
What are the means of me getting the cash?
Yes. What are the means of you getting the cash?
All right. So you can pay by credit card or debit card online. You can go to www.lawsb.com, put your credit card information in or debit card information. You can pay by PayPal. You can send us a check or money order in the mail. The fee for a phone consultation is $150.
Yeah, there's your answer.
There's your answer.
Margarine has a follow-up. So what do I need to renew my driver's license tomorrow? Margarine, you had a follow-up question.
She would need the stamp in her passport because she's going to have a hard time renewing her driver's license if her green card's up in 3 days. So get the stamp in your passport, then renew the driver's license. I mean, you can try to go down, but my concern is you don't have anything to show that's not going to expire in the next 3 days.
Dwight Drummond, I have a question. October, 2 years since I've gotten. It's been October. It's been 2 years since I've gotten my October. 2 years since I got my 2-year green card, and I still do not get my permanent green card. Can I file on my citizen? Can I file for citizen?
Yeah, as long as you have a straightforward I-751, why not? If you have a problematic case, I would wait.
Okay. And I think that's all we have.
That's all we got right now. There it is. Great job, Patrice. Great job. I am sure Jonathan Richards will tell you great job as well. Jonathan Richards, great job raising your daughter. Let's give it up for Jonathan Richards. Yeah! All right, do we have any last questions, or did I read them all off?
Yes, I have one question for you.
Okay, what is it?
Rose Delva, a spouse of a citizen can file after 3 years of being married, 3 years from the first green card, or 3 years or after the 10-year.
3 years.
10 years.
Talking about citizenship, it's 3 years from the first green card.
And that looks like that's it.